So,
as we get to see the Commodore playing with its phone.
there we go. And that's the Commodore. Let me let all our happy friends know that we are here. Quick throwing out the shares. Once we're all live, I'm going to go around the table and introduce all these lovely people listening. Hello, my UK friends.
Shut up! I want to open the box.
I'll open the box in a minute, you ingrateful child.
I want it now. It's okay. Wait, I've been good.
You have been good.
I don't know. The Emperor.
Oh wait! This is for the UK stream, right?
Yes.
Ironically, I'm wearing my Captain America. Where's my Captain Britain shirt?
Just like him, dead. All right.
Oh, wow.
All right. So, round the table real quick. Of course, I'm Big D, and I'm right here. We have the Lady D also with me on the other side. We're going to let the camera focus on our guest today. We have
In the green, looking fetching as always. Hello.
my Pirate Phoenix, because I can never remember what your actual
Flight of the Phoenix.
whatever. Pirate Cat Phoenix child person.
Birds fly.
Flight of Phoenix.
Everybody knows the Commodore. He can be ignored starting now. And at the far end of the table,
Beast.
this is the man that officiated my wedding and has been a very good friend of mine for 30 years, who I love like a brother. Now everybody knows how old I am. Remember, I had my 50th birthday party online.
I constantly forget you're older than me. Never mind, it's okay then. He's older than me, so that's fine.
All right, so this is my buddy Worm. And everybody knows Plague Child, who is running around in... Yeah, you're not on camera. You were better over in the corner hiding. Yeah, Plague Child's there. All right.
And so far, we have Chapter Master Artie saying hello, everyone. Dennis
That's my uncle.
I've seen Nick acting normal.
That's my uncle.
All right.
And Heinrich saying,
Uncle homie.
open the box.
Open the box. Open the damn box. All right.
Lord damn it, open the box. Free those Necrons.
All right, so we have two boxes we're opening. We have
This is the
Commodore has his box. Just whatever, just leave it there. It just fell. It's not a big deal. And now, while we're going over this, other couple things we got today. I picked up a copy of Chapter Approved. I will be reviewing this later in the week. Updated points, new edition.
Okay.
Now, like I said, my buddy Horn here, he doesn't play 40K, but he's very familiar with it. He's more of a role-playing game and board game guy.
Yes.
So he was brought on to give his. I'm not into this, but here's my opinion. Okay,
And
I see.
because I consider him to be a bit of a board game guru, so
Yes,
he knows quality product when he sees it. We're also going to be talking about board games and other general geekery like we normally do on our Taco Tuesday. What do you want, Blake Child?
sit.
You cannot sit here. You can grab a chair and bring it here. This is my chair. Nobody's allowed in it.
So I have to ask, as the non-Warhammer or Warhammer 40K, I don't play either.
Yeah.
Are these boxes potentially different inside?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
This is the new 9th edition starter box.
Okay.
That everyone's been going.
No, it's the launch set. It's
You're
not
right.
the starter.
You're
Not the
right.
starter.
It's the
That'll
hype
start a
set. The starter box goes on pre-sale in 2 weeks.
So the excitement is seeing the pretty, not like opening a pack of magic cards and
No.
oh, I got an emoji din.
No. That's what this is. With my new.
Ultramarine.
Are these tokens? I mean, they're
Yes,
supposed to be. I
they're
mean,
tokens.
they're very plain. They're just plain discs. But these are the new objective markers. They're very plain.
Hey, look like the discs that I gave.
Yeah, which I'm going to be doing some really wonderful tutorials with.
Nice.
Yes, because I'm going to be making.
Does the sticker come off?
I don't know. Don't peel it off because it'll probably break it.
No, look. If you look through the side, you can see this a 6.
There's a 6, there's a 5.
I mean, they look
How
like
is it?
Let's
How is
talk
it?
about
kind of looks like mini bases to me.
Yeah.
All your
later.
base are belong.
Well, this is the other thing. I have the one coin with the Necron side. La la la. And I got a pin because I'm awesome. Unbox it. Get it open, child. You want the Necrons? Let's get them open. Look at that.
Woo, victory
Heavy.
mark.
And that's why I don't play Warhammer. I don't paint. I tried it. It wasn't pretty in any sense of the word.
That's fine.
I don't have
No,
the
it's
hands
just-
for it. I don't have the eyes for it.
Yeah, it's just that's the cardboard sheet, Be nice.
You know, the piece of artwork that they give with every box set.
Yeah, but it's a new one, new art. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Actually, pretty good quality.
It is. Well, yeah, it's even a little thicker than normal, even. So maybe it won't be damaged like they normally are. Normally they have like holes poking. So it's like I wanted to use this to decorate with, but no, screw you. All right. All right. So let's see what we got here. What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
Outrider.
Outrider. All right. Let's take a closer look at this. This is the new Primaris bikes. Very nice. I mean, they pack these full of stuff. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you know how much a big box game goes for.
Sure.
These are only 200.
Oh.
There's
Only 200.
only 200, but there's a huge book in there as well. So I mean, they're overpriced compared to
What
other
is this?
games.
Necron crap? Throw this out of here.
I was gonna say I paid $300 for my Mega Sith.
I was gonna
And
say,
it was limited edition and all of that. But
and that's kind of what these are. They've got a limited edition book in there.
okay.
The starter sets are not going to potentially. It's the Necron with the big blade, dude. These are cool.
The Kopek Destroyer.
Yeah, that's a Kopek Destroyer.
Here's the lieutenant and
You're allowed to sit because you're broken.
Let's see.
Oh yeah,
Whose fault is that?
her own. She fell down the stairs 4
yeah.
times, multiple times.
So after Heinrich said, we must free the Necron.
Yes.
Nick's uncle says, thank you for calling me number one.
I flipped them off.
Heinrich says, Lord, this is the most rambling opening of a box ever. At least the Necrons know how to sleep a long time.
We haven't even started drinking yet.
Yeah, we haven't
I
even
was rambling.
opened the alcohol yet. Relax. This is a party.
Artie says, I'm building my Primaris now from that box. Haha.
Oh, these are the
Aren't
pistol
those
and
the
sword.
cleanest screws you've ever seen?
It's crazy. Looking at. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
This side is the new Overlord.
Yeah.
I know nothing about the Marines.
That's the new chapter captain. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. If you're looking at these sprues, talking about the way they've packed sprues and other, these are super efficient sprues. I mean, they're almost kind of like straight hacks. These are like little wedges here and there.
There's no wasted space.
There's none.
Like if you look at the old Imperial Guard sprue,
Yeah,
there's so much wasted space.
yeah, there's so much.
Everything's a little bit thinner when it comes to the just.
Well, and that's the thing. It looks like they really, I think they use their CAD systems to lay these out so that they could use as little space as possible. Yeah, these are new warriors. I mean, they're really, really packed in here tightly, which is great because I mean, you're getting more models in a box, less packaging, less waste. Bad in that I use my sprues to build terrain, which I'm working on a big tutorial on that right now. And
I've got to separate my Necrons. So
okay,
I got a second box. I'm splitting with somebody. So
wow.
my brother-in-law was able to get, because originally we were going to split this box, and I'm like, I don't like when everything was going crazy 2 weeks ago. We're like, I don't know if we're getting any. Are we getting any? I told him, like, hey man, I don't know if we're getting one.
So he got one.
He went to another store.
So you're giving him your Necrons, and he's giving you his more Marines.
Yep.
Well done.
That sounds like socialism at work.
Yeah. I approve. Oh yeah, this is this is the this is that Necron Walker thing.
Yeah.
I mean, really looking at these,
that thing looks so
these,
War of the Worlds.
yeah.
I'm so
Check this
excited
out.
to build it.
These are so cool looking.
Did you see the new monolith they showed off?
Yes,
Yeah.
It looks
I just showed it to you.
amazing.
Yeah, we were looking at
It looks so
Did you
good.
see the new tank?
I
There's a Primaris Predator.
know.
Yes!
I think I'm like the only person that likes that thing out of this series.
No, that is the best thing ever. I want it so bad.
Tickner hates it.
Well,
I'll
who?
hose you down if I have to.
Jason.
Ooh,
Ah, Jason hates everything.
there's two. There's two more.
We love you, Jason, if you happen to see this.
All right.
Okay.
So there's the edge of.
Edge of Silence.
So it looks like we
Look at
get a
Check it out. It's a really
I
cool
did. That's
stuff.
the one I just handed back.
Oh, okay. Edge of Silence, which is already
Hi, Tina.
Edge of Silence already has an FAQ on it because they wanted to make
And
sure. Yeah, there's the Indomitus build book. They wanted to make sure that people were clear because there's a change to storm shields, but they're only for these guys. They're not changing anywhere else. All right, and let me see that book.
oh,
That's a big
whoa.
book.
It's hefty.
Limited edition,
It's
so it's just hard.
bookmark.
It's a good looking book.
Yeah.
Technically, they give you two of these.
Nice.
Yeah.
This second one's kind of beat up a little bit though.
Well, that's because that was to protect things underneath. Oh my God.
There's no
You know what though? I feel like someday someone's going to develop a way to take those screws, recycle them, use them for like plastic 3D printers.
There actually is.
Is there already?
There is. It's expensive to get, but there's a company that will sell you the plans so you can put together. You can make your own plastic extractors. So you can use any recyclable plastics you want.
Wow.
You put them in the extractors, and then it spits them out in a coil. You could put them up on a spool and put them right back to a 3D printer, or you can do other stuff with them. It was really cool. They had a thing where they were showing how you could take like milk jugs, like take a couple hundred milk jugs, you throw them into this blender thing, you heat them up, you put them through the extruder, and you make 2x4s.
Oh wow.
And you can make 2x4s, you can make pipes. They actually you could build a housing, because one of the things they're doing is that in Africa, they'll buy the materials from you, then afterwards, you do the work to get them together, they'll buy the raw materials, because they're shipping them to Africa to build affordable housing over there. And they even have a thing in there so you can build bricks, so they can build foundations, like cinder blocks made of ABS. How crazy is that?
You should get one of those plastic bin to recycle that stuff. Just put it right in every Games Workshop store.
Yeah.
You know, that's where they're going to have plastic.
Games Workshop actually used to have a program where you could turn in your screws, and then you would earn credits.
That's cool.
Years ago,
Kind of like Reaper, when you cut off like the extra slots and stuff.
Yeah.
If you used to send that back to Reaper, they would give you a credit for the amount of weight in metal.
They used to do that in GW, but the problem was that the logistics were just too much to handle. Let your Uncle Wormy check that out.
See, this makes $200 make a little bit more sense because this right here is like a $70, $80 book.
Like I said, you're a gamer. You reckon, and it's a special.
Don't mind me.
New book smell.
Nothing like.
And it's a limited edition book. The regular rule book has all this writing crap on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the art wrap on the cover of this one.
Transfer speed.
Right?
The Space Marine.
Right? Like crack.
Yeah,
There's no Necron transfer speed.
You don't get them.
You don't get them. They're all raised on your stuff. You didn't need them anymore. Hey, I got a question for you. You play Imperial Fists.
Yeah.
You do not play any of the ones that are on here. Can I have your transfer sheet?
Let me see. I like to use some of the other. I like to use some of the small stuff to like add little characters to my thing.
Okay, that's fair.
And there's a mini artwork of the Edge of Silence.
Very nice.
Which
That's the cover for Indomitus. If you flip it over, I bet there's a digital.
it's for the audiobook ebook stuff.
Yeah.
Special edition, hardback edition, ebook, and audiobook available to order.
Yeah.
You trying to get his decals out and it reminds me of Larry Chatterton.
Oh,
There's a
Plus
name, right?
Man.
He asked me one time, we were gaming at my place, and I had my computer keyboards had backlighting. He's like, hey, when your keyboard dies, can I have it so I can strip out the LEDs and use them for my minis? Sure did.
So Heinrich Botha, a dear friend of ours who is in South Africa, would love to have you take a look through the rule book as you're so good at board games and whatnot, and actually have you give your take on it.
Through the rule book, it's like
Yeah.
look at the rules, or
Yeah.
Just that core book. He would like to see what your perspective on, what's in there, what you're thinking, as a board gamer.
Because I mean, this grew from board gaming. Yeah, I mean, cut out the stuff you want, and at some point, if you've got extra left over, I specifically, there's some of the stuff that I need because I am doing my Iron Hands army, so I need the one shoulders with the stuff. Eventually, I'll be.
Looking at some of the stuff, it reminded me a lot of World of Darkness.
Yeah,
And
there's-
especially how the combat weapons, the combat book.
okay. Well, that's just right there. That's something you don't see every day. Got a
Oh.
fold out.
Yeah. They kind of went all out on this stuff. I mean, honestly, talking about it as a group of gamers, it's a double gatefold. Is that a double
It's a
gatefold?
double gatefold.
Oh my goodness.
Apparently, just to let you know, the rules themselves will actually start on page 194.
Now that should tell you something right now. The first 193 pages are just fluff and art.
I mean, love and art's really nice too.
It is. I mean, when you're trying to set up a game to set the world and set the stage. All right, now just so everybody knows, because we had the game and she didn't end up beating me, this box has been won by Lady Dragon. So she gets the Marines, and of course, Plague Child gets the
It would have
Necrons.
been nice to have been able to open my own box.
Yeah, whatever.
We were assisting.
I'm over here making snarky comments.
When do you not make snarky comments?
Let's see. Jamjar has joined the chat. He says, "Yes, mate. Hi, awesome spicy peeps. Heart. That's our boy." Ben has joined the chat, saying Jordan was looking for someone who might want his Necrons half of the box. Just legit.
Okay. Well, you might, because I mean, I know for my box.
So that was her
Yeah,
box.
that's her. This is my box. Because I figured if I can't get an agreement with a tie game, I'll just get my own box. We don't argue about it.
No, I'm honestly just glancing through the rules because while I haven't played Warhammer, I have played a little bit of BattleTech, and I'm assuming the concepts are fairly similar.
Yeah,
You measure things out. You're here, they're there. One of you makes the other one dead.
Yeah.
Heinrich's response was, "Ha ha ha ha! Knew it."
I has a box of my own.
Considering we were arguing about it forever.
Yeah.
Over which one of us was the winner?
Now, here's the thing that's going to kill some of my fans. There is nothing in this box that will be turned into wolves.
When?
This is
Blasphemy, I know, but
the entire box,
Fair
at least
amount.
the Marine side, is all going to be my new Iron Hands army.
You finally developed good taste.
Now, I have
Well, I mean,
crested 5,000 points in wolves.
Cool, that's a starter army. What are you gonna do next?
Iron Hands, and get 5,000 points of them. Oh, why are you drinking mine?
take my mind. And I needed some caffeine.
All right.
Yeah, Necron wolves are very difficult to swing, says Heinrich.
Yeah. Well, you know, actually,
That would be interesting.
there you go. You kind of piece pieces together. It's like Necron arms on a pair of Marine legs.
No, think about it.
I love that you're just ready to go. Like, yep, I'm putting them together right now.
Yep.
Think about it.
I'm
Think
good.
about it. With
Well,
the,
no, I'm separating the Necron stuff from the Marine stuff.
Oh, yeah.
no, but think about that. Remember how we had that stupid narrative going where we were going to make that comic where there was a couple of Necrons with the group? Are those Necrons? Nope, those are Space Wolves. Is he reading the Imperial Times? Yeah, he likes to keep caught up on what's going on.
Do I even want to know? No, you really don't.
Just leave him alone. Why is there a grot that just ran by with a subwoofer on its head? Because he's setting up the stage. Why not? Why is there a grot on a Space Wolf Imperial ship?
He's not. He's an Imperial Guard.
God, the one one bad thing I do not like about this entire game is the Justicar's head.
So
So
replace it.
replace it.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to find a bit from.
How do you not like the Justicar's head? It looks just like you.
Yeah, because if I put on a face scarf, it looks just like me.
Right. So
I
that's
don't
not,
want to, like, because then when it dies, I die.
No, that's you now. No, that's
That would be
you.
kind of cool too, Tina. Tina goes, well, what if you put the wolf pelts capes on the Necrons? There you go. Wolfie Necrons.
No, I'm trying to get. I'm speaking with Jordan right now, getting a Dark Angel, the hooded head, or like I think that would look really cool to replace the Justicar's
Like-
head.
The Lego
Viper's
figurine head, pop it right on there.
Oh no, I've seen there's guys like on Instagram that has a Lego Marine army. Marine body, giant Lego head.
Nice.
Yep.
You're looking,
Respect
What's
Lego.
you're
on the
looking for
Necrons?
the Dark
Ooh.
Angels, the hooded head.
One of the hooded, either the helmeted hooded head or the.
Tina, that sounds like
I've got my
I'm set
box, I
already
got it.
like partially through my Necrons.
Remember
otherwise I would
that,
have to, try that out.
Kender was a Dark Angels player. So we've got about a quarter of a Dark Imperium box that they built into Dark Angels, and I bought the Primaris upgrade sprue for them. And then they ended up not building the rest, and I turned the rest into wolves. So
No. No, those are somebody else's.
I wasn't even.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? You not looking? Money.
All right. So
There's a camera right there.
as we're enjoying looking at this stuff, what's going on in the chat there? Hey, my buddy Jamjar, I noticed the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
What's up, JJ? I see you got your achievable month going on, dude. I love the progress you're making with that Slaves of Darkness army. They look real good, buddy. What are we on here? Who we got on today?
Well, we have Heinrich Botha. We have Commodore's Uncle Dennis. We've got Tina, Ben, Jamjar, Jordy, Heinrich. And he just posted something, apparently.
D. That's that does that not look 10 times better?
Where did you post it?
To each their own.
Yeah. I love the figure. I absolutely love the figure. I like the bald head. I like the fact that he's like, I ain't got time for this. Shave the head, let's go.
Well, no, he's wearing a skull helmet. He just got a face mask. That's actually a skull mask.
That's even better. How much you? Oh, that's right. You're gonna figure a fist player. Right.
Well, who puts on a space age helmet? Like, oh, give me space. Look, but I need to wear a face mask too.
Somebody who.
That's plague of unbelief.
What was the thing? It's about fashion. Fashion is about making a statement. You can wear a normal helmet, but that's just it. But when you add extras to it, it becomes about fashion. It's about making a statement, telling a story. You didn't watch the Norseman's trailer, did you?
I've seen season 1 of Norseman.
Okay. Here's the thing you remember. He's an Imperial fist player.
Never mind, I forgot about that. He's one of Dorn's sons.
It's a brick wall. It's the most beautiful thing ever.
We are not those kind of Imperial fists. Mine are like Black Templars, decaffeinated. Because we actually have librarians in our army. We'll kill you. I can shoot psychic beams out of my hands. We're going to bring him along too to kill you.
And then we're gonna build a wall with your bone.
No, best defense is an offense. You don't have to defend when there's nothing to defend from.
Oh,
wait, do we need to build a wall? Well, there's no one here. No need for a wall then.
So Dorn's disowned you then.
No.
First chapter's like, let them go. Just you guys go. It's all good.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So,
really, guys.
speaking of the journey in, you have been working on your sororitas.
Yes.
How are they coming?
We had our first victim.
What do you mean victim?
Her canoness had a blessed blade, and then the cat decided chew toy.
It's a battle-worn blessed blade.
We're either deciding to make it either a broken blessed blade, or if we're going to try and cut the blade and replace it with the power sword.
I might have some options for you. You know, I do have a massive bits box, but we are.
Figaro is currently on the list.
Cats care not about our gaming addiction.
No.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I already brought it up. They said, look up. The blade is chewed.
Here, look.
Yes.
So,
I have that.
oh, got the image of fire. I love this figure. Got the image of fire.
Hey, we can be
It
twins.
says battle damage. Ooh, wasn't me.
And got a Battle Sister Squad. That is awesome. I love to see it.
With
Hey,
the creepy
no.
babies.
Yes, with the creepy. I love the creepy
I
babies.
love the creepy baby.
See, this is why this is my niece. I love the creepy babies.
I love the fact that in text-to-speech, if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device, Magnus goes out of his way to blow those things up every single time he sees them because they creep him out.
Well, they're creepy. That's what's so awesome about them.
No.
They're just the creepiest. I want to. There's a couple people I know that are getting them and are just going to be discarding them. And I'm like, let me get them from you. I'm going to nurgle them up. I'm going to turn them into nurglings.
I'm debating if I want to use the shields that come with the blade guard, or use those ones that Heinrich designed, because those look so awesome.
Those ones that Heinrich designed are amazing.
Because it's got a little bit of like the Greek, like a Greek vibe to it. But
And you are very much a Sparta kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. Just kick everything.
I just realized. This will be exciting.
So looking through the book as the uninitiated,
Wait, you're here?
Surprise!
more from a you know a D&D gamer point of view than a board gamer point of view as far as the book goes.
Yeah.
This is a really well put together book. It's really pretty. I mean, I've got every edition of D&D books except for 4th, because we don't talk about 4th edition.
I didn't know there was a 4th edition.
So
Yeah.
that's
So I
why
don't talk about 4th edition. It's
That's gonna start a fight.
I thought counting went 3, 3.5, 5.
Yeah, it's a little bit like Monty Python that way.
Well, no, you had first, advanced, 3, 3.5, 5. That's some counting for you.
I mean, just on quality of the
Actually,
book itself, this is up there with like
the
the 20th anniversary
4, 5,
vampire
6.
stuff.
Oh, wow.
It's really pretty, and it's
We don't count 7, 8, 9 if we're talking Star Wars.
it's laid out really nicely. Like
Do the rules look clear? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I know you have
Yeah.
to take them all
no,
in, but
I think I could. I think a newbie to this could probably pick up the basic rules of this game pretty easily. The book's laid out really nicely. It's got a lot of nice color art in it, a lot of nice color photos,
Just for
and
you,
it's
we have red velvet.
condensed. You know, it doesn't drone on column to column. It's groups of
Yeah, I'm just
things
looking at that.
in small bits.
Which is funny because you wouldn't know this. They didn't used to do this. Like these key points would say, like, "Hey, strategic warfare.
yeah.
This is what you need to know.
She fought
This is the information."
I mean, those bullet
Yes.
points at the end, I thought were one of the nicest
All
additions
over
they talked
Yeah.
about.
Because you're no longer like, okay, I got to go over the
She brought
page,
fought.
look for
the
the
Kit
rules, read the whole paragraph. Now it's like, hey, there it
Oh, no,
is,
there's
the key
actually
points.
somebody
I need to
had
clear it
something
up. I can read the
hilarious.
paragraph.
It was a picture of a cat laying in the middle.
My only concern
And
is
it
if I
stabs
were a new
and,
person
it's in-
just starting this
indestructible.
game, I would get
You
to a
can't
section
do
like this
You can just
with this
wait for it
picture
to
and
set.
go, "I'll never get an army that looks like that."
so-
You know, because that's gorgeous.
Well, here's the thing. You want to see something crazy?
I already am.
That way I got so here's the thing.
Saturday, there's no rules.
Nick here. I mean, look at this guy. I mean, he's like a Neanderthal but with a beard. Hey, that's okay. But I mean, let's look at this though.
Commodore.
Why you gotta hurt my feelings?
Because you don't have any
Really
feelings.
easy to do.
You're right, I'm an asshole. And I hang out with one too.
Exactly.
Now shut up for a second and look over here. Heinrich wanted to show you this.
That's the one he was
That's what we're
showing.
talking about.
Yeah.
That's why he wants the hood. Here's the thing. This gentleman, when I first saw his painting, I was like, the hell, dude. What the hell? And he says to me, "Oh, yeah, I was just following the tutorials that are on the website."
You do not speak of our Lord and Savior Duncan like that.
I'm not. No, Duncan's an amazing painter. But I mean, to look at your shit and go, "Holy crap, your shit is so clean and so beautiful." I mean, I'm
Well, that's the thing. Like with my painting style, I can mimic a lot. Like if I see something, I can find a way. And if you show me, I can mimic it. But then once I mimic it, I can start changing it and add on.
And that's the thing. That's the thing to understand. You know, a lot of guys are like, "Oh, I'm not going to look like this." No, not at first. You're not. But you paint for a year. A lot of what people do, they'll start painting and they'll just take like one unit and they just start painting it. And they'll take photos all the way. And you realize once you understand the basic techniques, because they're not like, don't go stupid, just do what you can.
Mhm.
The techniques, once you start learning them, then you push yourself to do a little more.
But that's also what the contrasts have done now too.
Oh yeah, contrast paints. My God, I
Like the contrast paint, you put down like a light colored like primer coat,
Mhm.
and then you contrast with multiple colors they have, and it's also going to shade her face, shade, and even at some point do a highlight for your model.
See, my problem is just I twitch a little bit.
dude.
I have crappy eyes.
I actually learned a really good way on the twitching thing on how to prevent help with that because I have a problem with it too.
Here's the
I
funny
have a
thing.
good way to deal with the twitching thing, but I can't do that right now because I have to find a new job. But I mean,
I
you
didn't
know,
mean that way.
like Dan Cunningham walked me through painting once because he was painting. He was
Cunningham.
paint, yeah. And he was fabulous. I mean, he put out stuff that he would take to Gen Con and like put out in displays.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Cunningham was great.
I've heard the name of it.
But and now it's like my glasses, I need new glasses. And even if I have new glasses and people say, oh, you know, just get a magnifying glass and mount it there, I already have trifocals. There's a limit to the number of layers of non-standard glass my eyes can look through before I just go fall up in a corner and start sucking my thumb.
So you lose 10 points. So that's what it comes down to. No,
The 10 points only come into effect if you go to a draw, I believe. Everyone's throwing a big hubbub about the 10 points for a painted army.
Yeah.
The 10 points only come into effect if it goes to a draw.
Yeah.
So at that point, I agree with it. If it goes to a draw, if it's drawn like victory point wise, where it's like we're both at 5 victory points, and I've got a fully painted army and you've got gray models, I agree with the person like, hey, that should put time and effort into their army should technically get it.
On the other hand, for a guy that's blind like this, 3-part painting. I don't worry about details. I take my paints, I take my figures, I spray them with one color.
He's not.
I take a wash, I dip them in the wash, let that dry. I grab a makeup brush and a lighter color, and they're done. And that's called battle ready. That's official. Because people are like you. I get it. There are people. I realized that I had that week-long challenge when I had to take a 2-day break. I did a painting challenge.
Yeah.
Where I was trying to paint as many miniatures as I could in a week. I did 97 figures. I had to stop for 2 days because after wearing my magnifiers and doing this for 3 days straight, my wild eye went, I don't know where you want me to look, so I'm not. And I had a blistering headache for 2 days. I could not get it to go away. So I was like, okay, I'm not painting. And I ended up having to literally walk around with one hand over my face. I got shot in the face. I was
or stabbed in the eye with an inventory painting.
It was just awful.
See, another thing for me, as far as when I'm looking at what games I can and can't get into.
It's time management.
Well, it's time management. Well, not so much now. Plenty of time. It's looking at what's easily accessible on a con setting too.
Yeah.
Mini games in general. This is nothing to do with,
with
40K. It's anything mini based. If you go to a con, you pretty much have to bring your own stuff. If you don't, you're not going to be able to get into a pickup game for the most part.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Some sessions people will, bring enough for everybody and all that kind of thing. But it's not something you can count on.
Absolutely.
That's all it is.
And no, that's absolutely right. And you are a pretty big con goer. I mean, you go to
when they exist.
When they exist in the
I
world.
lost Gary Con. I lost Game Pool. I lost Nexus. I don't go to Gen Con because I don't have a house to mortgage.
True that. It's cheaper to go
We
to
were
Disney.
going to go to Adepticon this year. The 4 of us were going to go to Adepticon for the first time. And like a week beforehand, nope, it's canceled.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what happened with Gary Con. It was the same. I think it was the same weekend.
Same weekend, yeah.
That's one of the big problems is those tend to fall the same weekend.
Yeah.
I know people who will go 2 days to one and 2 days to the other because they're not too far apart.
And logistically or time-wise.
Right.
Nope.
No, but I mean, this is a gorgeous book. And, I know from experience from being over here and seeing your stuff that the miniatures they put out are gorgeous. They're really good products.
So there you go, folks. It's a good book.
Where me approved.
I have to make sure that the people who are watching are obviously big fans of 40K understand I have no inherent issue with the game.
That's the idea. See, here's the thing. I don't know if you watch my stream. You probably don't. That's cool because I'm really 40K focused. But we really are a geek channel, and that's the whole thing. I try to get from time to time. We go off topic like usually. Like we had one stream a couple weeks ago where we got on Doctor Who, and we were on Doctor Who for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I got into an argument with somebody the next day over one of my commentaries, to which I should probably put in an amendment on that while I have a chance. On last Tuesday's talk, I called the 11th Doctor a serial killer. I have been corrected. He is not target specific, so therefore it's not my classification a serial killer.
No, he's a spree killer.
It's called a mass murderer.
Yeah.
It's like Krieger had said, not a serial killer.
Welcome to the fun.
What do we got?
Your brother has shown up.
Hello.
Hi,
What are you streaming on anyway? YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually never watched any streams of anything until the pandemic started.
Yeah.
And then I started playing Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which is a nice, just idle game, like it says.
Oh.
And it's the indie official game and all that.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a couple of those.
It's I watched the streams for that for a while to learn how to play the game, And yeah, and I spend most of my time watching Twitch stream DJs at night to listen to good music.
Well, yeah, there you go. Yeah, actually, with the Discord channel, I've gotten the Twitch account. I've actually been thinking about when I'm not in the middle of painting stuff or working on stuff.
Thought about having these characters.
Wait, speaking of streams, did you guys ever see that one live stream called lo-fi hip hop or whatever? It's like kind of like.
Well, I know what lo-fi hip hop is. Yeah.
It was a constant stream that was going 24/7.
Yeah.
It was just like music to like not like it was like kind of like a jam session, kind of like nice, calm, not like hardcore rap.
My youngest likes lo-fi.
And it was going constantly, like for months. Like this thing had been going on for like weeks or months, and then it like somehow YouTube like no, we're stopping the stream. Like the person, they were like, we didn't do anything wrong, and then they brought it back. But like the person was like, they almost had a record for like the longest continuous stream.
Huh.
Was it maybe something to do with copyright infringement?
No, because they use all copy-free music.
No.
Because there's no actual it's not like songs you hear on like the radio kind of.
Okay.
They were just doing their own. They were doing like freeform lo-fi jamming. Yeah,
it's all like people they would get from like, hey, we have permission to play this. It's all copyright free. There's no lyrics to it, kind of stuff.
Well, you know, and it's funny because YouTube does a lot of things and people don't understand why. Frost and Fists were running a live stream one night, and out of nowhere they got a copyright strike for no reason. They got a copyright strike and killed their stream in the middle of the stream, and they're like,
That was a big thing on Twitch about a month ago. Twitch came down and said that they were going to hammer down on the DJs that are streaming, obviously copyrighted music if you're a DJ. And some people moved to Mixcloud to start streaming from there, but nothing really happened. Like if your stream, your stream will archive itself, and then they'll go and manually mute all the sound. Okay, whatever.
do you mean like a box or something to separate stuff out?
I love it how he's like keep moving me this direction. It's like, I love you, honey. Move.
Sorry.
It's slowly been forcing the lovely Phoenix out of the window.
It's fine.
I think this has probably got the most like full page and multi-page art in any source book that I've ever seen. I've got to say,
It's because it's the core rulebook. It's the core book, but like
But he's saying
only a third of it is actually rules.
right?
But that's what he's saying. Out of any book he's seen, and you're talking about the guy that's got gaming books forever. It's like,
yeah, it's similar to what you got here.
yeah.
This is only half.
But that's the thing. A lot of times, even the core rule books, they're not going to go art heavy. For one thing, you got to pay for the art. For another thing, you've got to pay for extra pages to print. And I guess they get us away from the having to pay for the art a little bit. Is that there's a lot of photography, a lot of photographs,
Well, but the other thing,
which is totally fine.
well, the
because
other thing to
it's
realize,
completely
is that,
accurate for what it is.
the other thing about it is realize is that all their
That was
art,
really nice.
they don't have to outsource their art. They have an entire internal art department that does all their own work internally.
Well, sure, but you still have to pay them. It's not
Right.
like, it's not like they're like, all right, here's your check for the week.
Well, okay,
Although I'm sure some of them do like that.
that's probably very true. There's a funny thing with GW, which I really appreciate. They have, from the very beginning, have always considered themselves to be a premium product. They've always kind of held themselves at a premium product. So they've always tried to keep, I shouldn't say always, because they didn't used to be. Like, you look at their first, like their second and third and fourth edition stuff, it's tiny books, very quick, going on low cost. But I would say starting with like sixth and seventh, they were like, we are a premium product. So we charge more for our minis, but they're higher quality minis. We charge more for our stuff, but we pack it full of premium art, information, higher quality paper.
The newer stuff. There's still some old screws out there that are premium priced that are not
Well, here's the thing. Did you watch the reveal stream this morning?
bits and pieces of it.
The way that they're making it out, I'm betting we're going to see 9th edition is going to be the edition of refreshes.
Well, they showed the new. They showed a new orc,
They have a new orc,
a new Death Guard thing.
a new Death Guard, and they showed a non-resin version of what us people that like the Yukari look like, a Lilith Hesperax, who's like one of their biggest name characters.
Wait,
That chick.
they showed her fully off.
They showed everything but her head. but they show her barefoot on the rock with the one knife out to the side, doing that leaping thing that she's known for in the books.
Tesprox is the only known succubus who uses the grappling net, except for she doesn't actually have a net.
She's got it woven into her hair.
Yeah, her hair is full of.
So she like whips her hair around. It's got all these.
She's
silks,
also
and
famously
she'll
known,
drag you and stab you with the whole knife.
and she's famously
Yeah.
known for not wearing.
All I can
Kinda
think
kick her into.
all I think is Willow Smith. I whip my hair back and forth. So
Mhm.
Did you ever hear how she told her dad she was done doing that?
no.
So they were in England for a premiere where she was supposed to be going to some award show, and she was like, "I don't want to do this, Dad. I am done. I don't want to be in music anymore." And he's like, "What are you talking about? This is, you're gonna do this, blah blah blah." Sends her up to her room. He hears nothing from her. It's about time to leave, so he calls her down. And she comes walking down. She'd taken a pair of scissors and cut every single braid out of her hair. And
How do you do that?
handed them to him. And he goes, "All right, we're done." Of course, bear in mind, this is also the man who took Jaden to England when Jaden turned 18. And
No, Jaden wanted to go to England for his
well, no, they had to go there, and it was going to interfere with his birthday. And Jaden's like, "No, it's great. We should all go. It'll be great." He's like, "Oh, look at my son, all being responsible." And they sit down for dinner. He's 18, and he orders whiskey.
Because you can do that there.
And apparently, the sound that came out of Will Smith's mouth had Jada telling him he needed to go outside, and then told Jaden he could have one. And he's like, yeah, the drinking age is 18 here in England for hard liquor.
Smart kid.
Apparently, Will did not know this.
Yeah, no,
It's one of my favorite stories to hear.
Speaking
Will
of
talking about
drinking,
his kids.
in the refrigerator is my big boy. Please bring me my big boy.
I see you found the.
GW was gracious. They gave me one extra 32 millimeter base.
Oh, look at that!
I found what?
Nice.
No, she found the. Yeah.
Yes.
Now I'm wondering what the hell needs an extra 32 millimeter base.
Yeah, you're gonna
Which
be a
part?
short one somewhere. I'm telling you.
Yellow big boy.
My big boy. It's the 40 ounce. You're sitting.
The mics.
The mics. The big. Yeah. My big boy. Gimme, gimme, gimme.
Yeah,
Somebody grab my chair. You can still see my head at table.
Yeah.
You're taller than I am. Trust me, they'll see you better than me.
So
Recapping a little bit for those of you who are potentially new at the 42 minute mark.
we've opened 2 Indominus boxes. One being the Commodores. One being Lady Dragons.
We didn't get to open it, by the way.
That's why mine is still sealed, so that she can open mine and pretend it was hers.
I opened it because it's partially mine too.
You didn't win that box. My blood, sweat, and tears went into winning that damn thing.
And my blood, sweat, and tears went into painting, so I got it.
Play your father and then come and talk to me.
I want to.
You get your Indominus set put together and built and painted. We'll play. We'll play.
Play.
So anyway, yeah. And then Dee decided that to, the whole happy wife equals happy life. He bought himself a second Indominus box.
Smart man right there.
That's what I'm saying. That's okay. I can eat ramen at work for a couple of weeks. It's all good. I need to lose weight anyhow.
Yeah, that ain't gonna
Not
Oh,
with
happen.
that
I hear that, son. Oh, them COVID pounds.
Oh, who are you telling? Dude, I was off of work for 2.5 months. I went to work the first day and I just had to walk across the building. I walked across the building and it's like a quarter-mile walk across this thing. By the time I get to my office, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die.
I went for a 2-mile, half-hour walk. I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago at this point. And for 3 days afterwards, I felt like somebody hit me in the hip with a baseball bat.
Jeez.
Or a cricket bat. Sorry. I'm trying to be, fair to the.
Actually, I think
fair to
we
the
had
Brits.
mostly.
Yeah, none of my UK friends showed up. I'm so
No.
sad. Kaiser was supposed to be here. Kaiser's probably building his Indominus box.
Yeah, because this guy's very awesome with that.
Nice.
I'm not owed 2 games.
Well, you'll have to get your stuff put together.
Well, we've got an Indominus set here. We're building together.
And that sounds army. That's
You're not going to tell me it's done. I see a whole bunch of dudes that are over there going, I'm not even painted yet.
Actually, technically they are painted. They're just not fully painted.
Oh, so being primed is painted now.
According to you, it is.
No.
It's +5. It's +5 victory points.
No, it's not. Because it's not.
For those
It's
of
not
you who may
shaded.
remember,
Mhm.
4D, if you build them and prime them, he considers them pre-painted and he will not touch them.
I'm weird that way.
If you build them but do not prime them, they're fair game. And that's questionable content. If they are not built at all and still sitting in the box,
Shit's mine. I get to them first. Shit's mine.
yeah, I'm still.
So what are you gonna do with
smacking knuckles.
both of your Indomitus boxes then?
This one actually wants to start on their Necrons right away, and
I got a commission from a certain Commodore that's got me not painting.
That sounds like a personal problem.
here's the other thing: you're gonna hear something out of my mouth right now that's gonna probably knock you down.
Oh, yeah,
Oh God, there's not a whole lot of room over there.
I wanted to hit the boards in the concrete. That'd be good. I've not been in the mood to paint.
Ay, Dios mío.
Well, you painted how many models just from January?
I'm like over 300 at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm all proud of
You need to
myself. I get
Icarus, you
25.
flew too close to the sun.
Well, the
I'm
thing is,
nearly done with my neck. My first
see,
neck.
I'm sitting here on a spat of I've got 25 Space Wolves that are like half done that I need to finish up, and I've got the remaining bits of my Custodes army that I got to finish up because they're almost done. Actually, I have enough points to do Custodes. I'm doing the secondary bits because I realized I don't want to only be able to run just one squad of sword and board, one squad of spears, and one squad of Sagittarians. So I'm putting together I'm putting together 2 more squads of sword and boards and 2 more squads of
Oh, I
spears.
drink that a little too fast without
So-
any food in my stomach.
Custodes are dudes in giant gold armor. We are the Emperor's bodyguards.
Okay. I'll have to
Speaking of-
show you the clip of my Custodians where mine were inspired because before they became his Custodians, they went into a very long time of mourning for failing to protect their emperor, so they stripped out of their armor, wore nothing but loincloths, and apparently covered themselves in oil.
Of course they did. Sorry, we've not. I mean, I think if, for someone getting into this game, that would be the other thing that you have to get over. It's like you guys know all this lore about
And
the
there's
game.
so much
There's
more.
knowing the rules, and you could learn the rules and get into a game with no problem.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
not
I just
a
read through that. I could probably actually sit and read through the actual rules in about an hour and have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. Maybe not,
you just have to get the
maybe not
strategy.
greater strategy, but
You could throw dice and kind of get the idea. Yeah.
but I know that there's. I mean, how long has this game been around? 40 years?
30,
35?
32 years now.
Okay.
Warhammer 40K has been around for 32 years.
So, but the nice thing about the game is
43.
that, well, but because you're like the rest of us, you want to know what the lore behind
Yep.
some of these people are.
Yep.
And it is very difficult because there is, 30 years of lore, and a lot of people go, oh, start with the Horus Heresy, which is like, what, 32 books in and of itself?
No. The preamble's 32 books. The entire series is up in the 70s right now.
Like if there was like a Wikipedia page with a plot synopsis
There
that you
is.
could go through.
There is. And it's like 32 books. I mean, here's the thing.
See, how I say it is I just figure, like, I like the Salamanders, and I like the Drakari and the Elves, specifically the Yanari. So I went and I did research on the things I'm interested in.
Yeah, so creative with Necrons.
When he introduced me to If the Emperor Had the Text of Speech, which is a channel on here, it sticks fairly close to the core lore while making fun of itself. So you kind of get caught up to speed on what their past is that brings them up to, well,
Text to speech, to put it to you, imagine Rocky Horror, but for 40K. It's an absolute spoof of it, but there's an actual followable plot.
yeah, it's got an actual plot, and they talk a lot about, because the Emperor's like, well, what about this? What have these guys been up to since I've been, doing this throne thing? Because bear in mind, the first
When I
thing
die, I want that to be somebody like, he's not dead. He's just doing his throne thing.
I would like to point out that in the very first episode, they installed this text-to-speech device, and the first thing out of his mouth, quote unquote, is "find a fuckily." I have so many things to complain about.
This throne thing reminds me of watching Yacht Rock last night. A couple of Doobie Brothers videos where he got Skunk Baxter sitting in a chair on the stage, just kind of casually playing his guitar while the rest of the band is playing. He's like, "Yep, I'm Skunk Baxter. It's okay."
But
So I mean, that's the thing. You look at
There's some cheese in the bag with the chips. Can we grab it and throw it in a fridge and I move the chair?
So I mean, here's the
it's a
thing.
great starting point for somebody who just kind of wants to start to
You know what?
figure
At
out.
that point, I'll just grab it. That's
You know what? I'm free. I'll grab the
Or that.
And hand it to me and I'll put it in
Exactly.
So, for those of you who happen to be new coming into this thing, I'm just going to give a quick shout out. The gentleman at the Sexy Beast that is at the end of
in
the
the
counter.
fridge for now too, so they stay nice and cold.
So, the Sexy Beast that's at the end of the table is Scott Worm, one of our dearest and oldest friends. You hear us refer to him as Wormy. The gentleman next to him wearing the Captain America with the shiny dome. We all know him as our wonderful Smash Captain, he who sits in high orbit, the Commodore, and who's being slowly pushed out of the scene in the fetching green. There's our beloved Fly to the Phoenix. And you can't see him, but he's over here next to me, and I'm
Yo.
That's his arm.
and I've been hiding over next to the computer, answering chat and making commentary. So any commentary you see on this is actually coming from me.
What are you looking for?
They have just opened
the
up
cover
two
stuff.
of the Indomitus boxes, one belonging to our dear Commodore, and the other one was technically mine that we decided I won because I didn't rage quit the game.
I beat the holy hell out of her, dude.
It was over. Yeah,
And I do.
it was pretty bad. But it was my very first game against
I beat the holy hell out of your Death Guard too.
Yeah, but you did it
Anyway.
over time. I slapped her around like she was a gimp in the box. It was bad.
Honey.
I mean, it's only fair considering every board game we've ever played, I've gone through you like,
Yeah.
the Union Army through Savannah.
Yeah, pretty much. So we decided
I'm
that
gonna
I
use
ended up
that.
winning because instead of rage quitting when I originally wanted to at the beginning of round 2 after he killed my brain, I stuck around and watched him massacre my ass. But we tied points-wise, so that
which
ended up...
which is the great part about this game. I'm doing really good and kicking the crap out of your figures. Yeah, but you're not scoring points. And
Which
Unless you're playing a game, a match where that is where I.
well, the problem with that is that was the only reason it ended up tied. Because the mission we had, for every unit that you killed, you got a point. And for every time you killed you got an extra point for killing the warlord.
Yep.
Here's the thing. We ended up tied. My army was half the size of hers. The only reason we tied was because there was a point for every time you killed a unit. I was not scoring objectives. She was all over objectives, scoring points. My slow ass couldn't get to them. So my only goal was to kill a unit and take it from her.
Well, you played Twilight Imperium, right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
You can have a great setup going out on the table, but if you're not scoring points, who cares?
Yeah.
Everything can look sexy, but it's all about that.
Yeah. Exactly.
So-
And that's one of the things I really like about the changes that they've done in both 8th and 9th for Warhammer. Because I mean, old Warhammer, it was get on the table, shoot whoever got wiped off the table, they lose the game.
Battle tank.
And now with they've really now put the whole idea of there's different kinds of missions, so it's not even the same game every time. Like the only way I can think of it that's a really easiest way to describe it, because I know he and I have played this game a number of times, and because of him, I bought the game and I play it all the time on my computer. Lords of Waterdeep.
Oh, yep.
There is at the beginning of the game, there's a slew of missions. You random roll which mission are we playing. So you never know what you're playing until you start up. So, and that's really cool. And then you're putting down what the objective markers are. And then there's secondary objectives where you get to go through like your list and I get to pick maybe 2 or 3 of these. But I keep them myself. I don't tell you what they are until I score them. So they've added a lot more tactical things and a lot more gamey things to it, so that it's more than just I shoot your figures, I win.
You ever played a Firefly board game?
Fire.
No, we talked about it, but we haven't had a chance to.
It's really good. I mean, if you have the entire board game, we would struggle to fit it on this table. But
That's impressive
there's
because I like
a number of different missions in there that you can play. So there's different setups and there's different missions, and they're two separate things. And depending on what setup you go with, and that's not a random thing. Like generally, you'll agree on what to play before you play the game. But depending on what your setup is and what your mission is, your style of play may not work at all. Like I like to get my ship nice and equipped and have a nice crew set up. But if we're playing a game where we're only playing to say $6,000, somebody else has already run 3, missions and they're done, and I'm like, well, I got a pretty ship, I'm last.
Nice.
That's kind of
You
how
gotta
I
be able
am.
to ship on the fly like that.
Yeah.
See, when I play games like that and I know I'm going to lose, I'm a little bit better at handling those, a little bit better than I am at.
She
Yes.
complains about them, but she's actually really good and really fun to play in like the rail games.
Because I just kind of ignore everybody else, and I sit over here in the corner and I go, okay, I want to do this. And I let everybody else do their stuff.
Unless you're playing with somebody who plays a lot of rail games, and I mean a lot of rail games, where they're doing like 4D chess kind of moves of going, okay,
Yeah.
I need to fill in this track here. This section right here is the real critical one. I'm going to fill that in first and build up. Unless you're playing with people like that, that's fine.
That's who I play with.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing. So she normally comes in last or second to last, but that's the whole thing. She's happy because she's playing the game the way she wants to play it.
There have been a couple times I've won doing it that because everybody was so like, and I'm just like, the
First thing you got to do is you got to lay down that one track piece between New Orleans and Houston, and then you can
Except for we
control
play
the south.
Europe.
Oh, I haven't played the Europe map in a while.
I've never played the U.S. map actually.
Really?
Empire Builder, yeah, I did. We played it once.
I don't remember that one.
You talking now? The question is, are you talking Zug and Zug, or are you talking Empire Builder?
I'm talking Zug and Zug. I've never played Empire Builder.
Oh, you played Euro Rail stuff.
I should bring PTR Rails and Sails over here sometime and play that.
I played that.
Have you played Rails and Sails?
Uh-huh.
I've never. I've had
They
that
got
game.
the Great Lakes version of it.
Yes, that's the only side I've played. I've never played the world map. I've had the game since it came out. Never played the world map because I want to be able to lay a track into Milwaukee, damn it.
Well, and see, that's the thing. Like we were talking about, it's like, I mean, this is why I said you coming over and talking about it because, like I said, we're general geekery and we talk about all this kind of stuff. Board games. I mean, I love board games. I mean, I don't have a huge collection, but I have a couple pretty good ones up there. A couple that you gifted me.
Yeah.
Like my Supremacy and my Cosmic Encounter, which I gotta get a game of Cosmic Encounter going. I miss that game. It's so much fucking fun.
Okay, to do a tiny bit of a segue, the question has been posed to the table. Tina Raven would like to know, did you see that they have a deck of cards now that's like the Warcry ones? Random deployment zones, twists, and ruses.
Yeah, it's called the Open Play cards. I mean, the deck cards next to you there.
This is Open War.
Yeah, they're called the Open Play cards.
Open War.
Can I finish what I'm saying? They're called the Open Play cards. In 8th edition, they had Open War. They're very similar. They're not the same, but they're similar. I bought the 8th edition ones back in the day, but they're very similar, and I like the fact that they're going to that random card idea to make games even more random and actually have more different play.
Miss, I'm being pushed up all the way over there.
I haven't eaten except for at 9 o'clock this morning. I had a little bit of breakfast, and I chugged that thing really quick.
So yeah, I like the idea. I'm actually talking with Nick because Nick and my wife are two of the main, well, Plague Child eventually, the 3 of the main people I'm playing with. Because I mean, the idea is that once we get armies going
Wow,
on,
way to just cut your niece out.
I love you too.
well, no, she's got a ways to go with her army. Yeah, I don't want to put her under pressure.
That's what she and I will be probably doing while you guys are
That's what
board
I'm
gaming.
saying.
But that's how diamonds are formed, under pressure.
And I suddenly have this song from
Did you just call me
Queen and David Bowie in my head.
Well, I don't know if she's cold, but soul, hearts, yeah, maybe. She's family. It's understandable.
No, I mean things like that. It's all about adding replayability.
Yeah.
And if you have an ability to, because I've been to the Games Workshop down on Lake with you. I've seen the layouts that they have there. At a certain point, you play all of the setups that they have.
Yeah.
So you have to add a level of replayability.
Yeah.
So you add that level of randomness to it, which some people would call, random screwage. Sometimes it does amount to random screwage, but sometimes it's against the other person,
Yeah, and that's it's absolutely it. I mean, the biggest problem anybody can ever complain about any game, honestly, is the unreplayability of the game. I mean, honestly, that's my biggest problem with like 90% of the old Parker Brothers type
You
games.
want to get copyright strike?
There's one way to play a game. Like, I love Axis and Allies, but let's be honest. There's one way to play that game. There really is.
Yeah.
There's only one way to play Axis and Allies.
You brought up Lords of Waterdeep. Past a certain point, it loses its replayability.
Yeah.
If you've played it, hundreds of times online like you and I have.
Well, there was
I'm
one.
getting to the point now where I've played. Sorry, I have played that game so many times. It's literally gotten to the point where I just hit random for everything. It's like I put I pack up with 5 AIs, put it at max AI. I don't care what lord you give me, just give me a lord and I'll figure out from there. And you get to a point where, that's been a problem in some tournament games. Eurorails tournament-wise had to put in a tournament rule for how many times you were allowed to dump. Because there was a tournament strategy where people would just build one specific track and then dump every turn until they pulled the cards you needed to win the game.
I had problems with that. I played Euro Rails, but Iron Dragon is my preferred Crayon Rail game.
Yeah.
You know that. Iron Dragon is that's the game for me. But depending on who I'm playing with, we would get to the point at the end of the game where if somebody was about to win, the other players would just start cycling their cards, hoping to pull calamities to wipe out the other person's track. So I finally had a home rule in a rule going, okay, past, I forget what point we set it at, but past this point, if you cycle your cards, any calamities that come up don't count. They get shuffled right back. Yeah, because is it legal? Yes. Is it really kind of bad form in my mind? I think so.
Absolutely, and that's the whole thing.
It's griefing. It's griefing.
And when you're playing a game with your friends, specifically, you're playing a game to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's one thing to go into, say, what is it, in Eurorails, between Paris and the other major city there, and to take that one double triangle and cover every single angle with it, so nobody can get through to the other city through any of those cheap paths there.
That's kind of
I'm trying to remember, and this is how often I play Iron Dragon compared to the rest of the Crayon Rails games.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I've ever played a game of Euro Rails. I'm sure I played.
I know you played. I know for a fact you played
You were
Eurorails.
there? Okay.
Yeah, because it was you, me, Larry, again, Chatterton.
How are we not still playing that game then?
Oh,
I love Larry.
you want to hear something crazy?
Slow.
I got something crazy for you. How did you find out about my book the first time? And she took it to her gaming group. And the guy across the table from her went, "Hey, I'm in that book." Because she was gaming with Larry.
Isn't Larry?
Godokai.
Okay. He was the other cool character.
Yeah. Actually, honestly, which is hilarious, he's actually probably one of my favorite characters from that book.
Yes.
He's one of the sweetest men you ever want to meet in your life.
He is. He's a great.
He is.
He's a wonderful guy.
But he plays slow.
Man,
That's it.
Kingmaker games with him. Avalon Hill's Kingmaker, one of my favorite games of all time. But Lord Almighty, if you're playing with Larry, there is one truth. At some point, he's going to recognize who's in the lead, and he just goes, "I'm your friend," and he will never betray you. That's the one thing I like about him. He will never betray you.
That I believe.
But there is a point where he just goes, "All right, I'm not winning this game, so I'm picking a side so I can win." I love Larry. He's a great guy, but oh man. Yeah, him trying to choose what he's going to do. It's like, oh my God, dude, this is supposed to be a 2-hour game. You've just spent 45 minutes figuring out where you're placing your first freaking train.
That's where you sound like you've gone out of business, sir.
But again, I love Larry. Larry's a great guy. I miss him terribly. I've known. I mean, I'm a big board game guy. It's funny. I've been playing board games. You did this? It's good. Been playing board games with my mom. I mean, I'm sure you remember coming over to the house and playing Rummy Cube and Parcheesi with the family.
No, you did a good job.
Really?
Is it for your flying?
I mean, it's true. You didn't. There was well, when you were getting close to that age. Yeah, Mom was actually around with him. I always forget in comparison how young you were when she passed.
Well, you always want to see them on the
Yeah.
snow.
Yeah. It always surprises me because Jen, your cousin Jen. I used to babysit for her all the time because they just lived around the corner from the house for the longest time. Because her grandparents, Chris's parents, lived over on 47th. So I used to see her all the time. But yeah, I just realized, because she died in 88 or 89. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just realized, yeah, you were still very, very young.
I remember Dad from home from the hospital. He sat down on the chair.
Now I gotta know, because your dad was one of the main people who used to crush me. Do you ever teach you how to play cribbage?
Yes.
All right. There's good.
Cribbage was always grilled cheese and tomato soup nights. Because we would play that grilled cheese.
So, if you're not familiar with cribbage, my lovely fans, cribbage is a wonderful board and card game. The board is there basically to score points on. I think it's a German game, but it got brought into our house in the early 70s when her dad and her aunt, my older sister, were working for the same cab company. And that was when I released, remember, when that card came into the house. And that thing became a staple at the house for a long time. My mom actually had a cribbage board. Well, now if you're familiar with cribbage, normally the pegs are like this big and the board's like the size of like half the size of this box. My mom had a cribbage board that was this size, two of these long, and maybe only about this wide though. And the pegs were about that size. They were like 3 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
They were like 3 inches long, and we would play them on that. Oh man,
I have my own cribbage.
I have a cribbage board. I think up there.
That's not one of the guys.
Cribbage. You know how to play cribbage, right?
I didn't know how to play cribbage until about 98, 99, and then a buddy of mine taught me. In the second game we played, I double skunked him. So yeah, I never played cribbage.
I'm surprised. Well, no, we didn't play a lot of cribbage up there. We always played spades.
Nobody was carrying a board around.
But we always played spades up there. Oh my god. The amount of games of spades. I mean, to be honest.
You brought up spades, so I have to mention the one time that Dave Kroll and I beat Dan Yeager and Eric Viking.
There you go.
And that will never die.
That will never die.
Nope.
Now, here's the thing. The reason this was brought up is because I want people to understand this man is like a brother to me. Like I said, he was the officiant at my wedding. I met this man because Dave, the man he just spoke of, my roommate, brought me to the UWM Student Union, and Dave had to run the class, and they were about to play a game of spades, and this man needed a partner because you were playing against Terrence and Dean, and they're like, well, get three, man. Oh, let's play. I'm like, I'll play. You know how? And I looked at him and went, oh yeah, and we crushed.
I was gonna guess we crushed them. Bean gets distracted, easily, especially back then.
Back then, yeah. I mean, he was a good player. They were both really good players, but they would chemically accessorized.
This is before I was doing that.
Yeah. So yeah, they would.
And if we were playing with Terrence, the cards were probably trashed by the time we were done with the first game because that man has the sweatiest palms I've ever seen.
I
in my
don't
whole life.
understand. I mean, the man. I mean, he sweats like a furnace. I mean, he's just. I mean, I've gone out clubbing with him, and we would come back from clubbing, and you could probably take his shirt and wring it out, and it would just be like wringing out a mop. And it was just hilarious. But he was just.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he would hold cards, and he would sit there and hold them, and he would just watch people just like, I don't want these cards anymore, because he would soak into the cards.
I remember Jason's Settlers of Catan game. After he passed, Dave inherited it, and we would play with Terrence a lot. And the cards, and they weren't sleeved or anything. And the cards by like early 2000s were just they felt grimy. That's why Terraforming Mars was all sleeved. You know?
Terrence wasn't allowed to play with Magic cards if they weren't sleeved.
Nobody
Nobody let him lay their cards unless they were sleeved. I mean, it was literally he was the reason all the cards in the pit got sleeved, because he would play with he would use this black-green deck, and after a while it was all kind of a brown deck. And I want to be clear, it's not that he didn't bathe, it's not that he was dirty, he was a clean.
Oh, this man got more tail in his life than you.
The man was very clean, very, very fastidious about his grooming. The guy was sharp. He's a good-looking man.
Handsome, charismatic.
He was a very handsome. One of my best friends. One of the few people I've actually known from high school.
Hands, that's it.
Well, not just sweaty hands. He just, for whatever reason, the man buckets just came off this man. Unless it was winter, buckets were coming off and just walking down the street. And when he would sit down, if he stopped moving, his hands would just be like.
Hi, Dave. Welcome to the insanity.
That's what this is.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was just, I met this man over spades, and we used to play spades. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't spades. It was not spades. Because I remember we were partners for the part of the game. It wasn't spades. It was sheep's head.
Oh, we had to have a fifth in there somewhere.
Yeah. Conway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was because the whole pit crew showed up. It was a whole pit crew, because that was the other thing. Sheep's head. My God, I mean, the amount of time, spades and sheep's head were the two card games to play in the Union in those days.
Conway was a decent player.
Conway's a great player. For anybody that ever had problems with Conway, because he could be a bit overbearing at times and a bit kind of he can be a little over. He can be I don't care if he does. He knows. He knows how much I love the man. But he knows we both know our flaws. Like, I know what my flaws are. I can be over dramatic.
Really?
Yeah. But he can be a little overbearing at times. But I'll tell you what, if you ever wanted to play Shadowrun, the role-playing game, I do not know a person with a better grasp of the genre and how to keep that game interesting than Dan Conway.
So, Dave, I did finally get your box that you sent me.
He ran a Shadowrun campaign. He was in like 10 years.
Thank you.
Such.
I'm looking forward to building
He's also
it.
a pretty ride or die kind of friend, too.
Yeah, he is.
He
Absolutely is. He is loyal to the end. And that's honestly considering the fact that I nearly threw him out of the window once.
Yeah, he tells me he was
I had him by an ankle and a collar, and I was headed for a window at the pit when Bean and T
I am willing to bet everybody who ever lived at the pit or Pit East, with probable exception of Bambi, was probably close to being thrown out a window by one of the other residents at some point.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I know. I know at one point I literally had Dan by a collar and an ankle and was headed towards the window in the back of the pit. You know, the one that was by the couch there?
I was never in the pit.
You were a lucky man.
I was never in the pit. I was in the pit east on Kramer,
Okay.
but I'd never been in the pit.
So the original pit, the back of the house, at the bottom top of the stairs, there was a sofa bed.
Okay.
The pit was...
Oh, Lord. Let me kick back in my chair
No.
for a second.
not screen content.
It is completely daily stream content because it was all about gaming. Because the pit was a gaming mecca.
Yes.
The pit was a 2-bedroom flat on the east side of Milwaukee, right off of Burleigh on Pierce. So not a bad part of River West, not a good part of River West, just kind of in the dead middle. You go a couple blocks one way, you're going to get shot. You go a couple blocks the other way, you're going to have vegans assaulted. So you're right there. Now, in this 2-bedroom upper flat, when I got out of the military in 1990, I moved in there with 5 other roommates.
Who was
it all?
Who was sleeping ass to cheeks?
Nobody. We all found different spots, not in a place to convert. The living room in the front of the place was converted. So when I first moved in there, you had Mike Campbell, Mr. Anime. I mean, if you ever want to know anything about anything anime or manga, he was your source. He got me into. I give him credit. He's the man that turned me on to manga and anime because I had been in Milwaukee 2 days, and he had a fan sub copy of Totoro. That, and this was a time when Totoro, nobody knew what the hell. Nobody in the States really knew who Miyazaki was.
Yeah.
And he had a fan sub copy of Totoro. I watched like the first night I moved in with these guys, and I've been a Miyazaki fan ever since. So, Mike, you wanted anything to know about anime or manga, he was your guy. We had Dom. Oh, Dominic is a existential philosopher kind of guy.
Bro.
Yeah. The man survived without a job by playing bridge with old ladies and playing with and getting tipped.
I tell
For
that
10 years.
I tell that story too if I was a gigolo.
You don't understand.
No.
You make that. You say that jokingly. Yeah, that was also his dating circle. Keep in mind, Dom was at that point in his early to mid 20s. Yeah.
You know you ever watch the Disney show Recess, the cartoon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know the little scraggly kid who
Randall.
Yeah, that's what Dom looked like.
But his dating circle were these retired blue hairs. It was a thing.
Gotta get into that will somehow.
Oh man, it was a thing. But if you ever want to talk philosophy at 3 a.m, this guy would draw you into some of the best conversations. And when it came to role-playing games, he was a killer GM, just a really awesome storyteller. And he would build the most obtuse, bizarre characters that made games fun to play in.
Was he the one who took a set game and took it through like 7 different systems?
Yeah.
You guys just went from system to system to system?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was kind of legendary.
Yeah. No, that was Dom that did it. Then I had Craig, who was in there. Now my buddy Craig is huge health issues.
Yeah. He was my roommate for a little while too, man.
Yeah, I remember that.
When Jason
But you ever want to talk to a guy about history, politics, military theory, guns? He's an absolute knowledgeable trove about this thing. And again, the man ran a police-based superhero game for close to 20 years. That was absolutely stunning. Again, and an incredible artist. I would point out he was a comic book artist that drew in a realistic style that was just really realistic and gory and gut. You know, like when people got shot, they bled all over the place. It was incredible style. I loved his work. Then the aforementioned Bambi was living there. Now Bambi was the best man at my first wedding. To understand Bambi,
He is not what you think.
you have to take. Well, here's the thing about Bambi. You have to take like 14 cases of Monster, take all the caffeine out of it, take it all at once, and give it to an 8-year-old.
Yep.
At once.
Directly into the vein.
But then at the same time, give him a Valium.
Yep.
He's the only man I knew that would sleep intensely. He would curl up, hands in fists,
Yep.
face clenched, shoulders clenched, and he's dead asleep. It's like he's so asleep, he's vibrating. What the hell, man?
Yeah, Bambi's
He's
nickname
really
is
sleeping.
Bambi. Bambi's nickname is Bay not because of his personality. It's because that was his frat name. That was his 5-6 frat
That
name,
was
which
his
was the frat that I pledged as well. I was only there about 4 months, but and that was after he had gotten out of the army.
Yeah.
And his frat nickname was Bambi because at that point he was still pure. And way more pure than the other guy in the frat whose name was Bill. So they're like, okay, so yeah, you get Bambi. Yeah, and I think I still call him Bambi.
I still call him. He knows. I don't call him Bill. He's not Bill. He's Bambi.
No, he's Bambi.
He's Bambi.
I didn't know that Bambi was.
The other Bill in the frat's nickname was Bilbo because he actually had hairy feet.
Okay. But the other thing to understand about Bambi is that along with being super intense and being not angry, there's other thing. Zen. That's where the Valiant comes in. The man was completely zen on things. He's just like, I just let it go. Everything's fine. Dude, you're right now just clenching your butt cheeks so hard. I can hear the sparks coming off of you. No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
But again, you want to talk ride or die. You wouldn't think
Ride or die,
taking
no.
a bullet for you.
I mean, and that's
Literally.
I mean, we've been
Literally.
friends 30 years. I mean, we're still friends. We went out with him just before all this COVID
Yeah.
stuff. We went out and met him.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about the other thing about Bambi to understand is, again, because I talk about this pit like this because all these characters, everybody brought something to the table. If you want to talk about existential spiritualism and conceptual AI theory, this guy, the whole concept of what makes a person, we could talk about that for hours. So just incredible philosophy type people and things. So yeah, we were a bunch of guys that were broke and we all lived in a cheap apartment. And all we did in this apartment was drink, smoke weed, and play lots of games.
Yeah.
Like incredible amounts of games. We at one point had a board game. I remember there was a game of Risk going on. I went to bed. I slept. They started the game just as they were just taking the game out as I went to bed. I got up 6 hours later, took a shower. I went to work. Came back. The game was still going on. This is the kind of things that this group did.
It surprises me not the slightest.
Yeah, I mean, this is the board games would go on for days. Role-playing game sessions would go on. People would leave and come back. Other people would leave and come up. And these games would go on for weeks at a time, with the game never really stopping unless the GM got sleep. And there was at least one game that had 3 different GMs, so different GMs could swap in and out. So the game didn't stop.
That sounds
It was
Fantastic. I've done that.
amazing.
That pit group and spreading out from that,
the social circle. And this is just
the geeky part of that third floor union group.
Yeah.
There were some geeks.
there were
some geeks on Earl. Remember Earl?
Earl always surprised me because you would look at Earl and be like, if you remember in the 70s and 80s there was the joke about the Poindexter. Earl, you look at him and go, oh my God, it's the word Poindexter given flesh. But I tell you what, just, oh my God, I can't even describe it.
I don't use geek in a negative term. Let me get that straight. I'm not using geek in a negative connotation in any way.
But
I'm talking, these are people who are serious about their hobbies.
But the man-
serious about their brain.
Mini Warmud has joined the channel.
Mutt,
He says, quit standing around and quit standing around that table. Bust out a game, man.
all right then, what'd you bring for us today?
I don't know. We can play on this table.
Well, we can certainly play on this table. We can absolutely play on this table. That's why we have this table.
I'm just talking from the aspect of standing up and playing a board game.
Nah.
We've got, what time is it?
It is 2:30.
So you've got a half an hour on your screen.
Yeah, we can start up and talk. That's the whole joy of these. We'll start up and start playing and just talk while we do it.
Well, I brought Mars, like your question.
Yes, my favorite game, my board game today is Terraforming Mars.
That's my
Dave
favorite board game
says,
as well.
yes, whip it out live.
Well, now,
I didn't know
apparently you
there would
don't
be an
understand.
audience for
Okay,
that.
now here's the thing. You guys know about Frost and Fist and the joke about the Chippendales. You have no idea about me and Wormy.
7 years in a Rocky Horror Shadowcast. I'll show anybody anything. I don't care. You're not going to want to see it, but I'll show it.
Bill's Mini says, oh no, I'm too late. Well, Ben goes, ew, please keep it on.
Well, I brought
No,
Terraforming
Bill,
Mars,
you're fine.
I
You're
bought-
fine.
I
You just
brought
don't
Above
they
and
did the
Below.
unboxing.
like you asked. I brought Wingspan, which is one of the no, it's his newest one. His name escapes me. The guy who does Scythe and Wingspan and all of those good ones. And then I got something else.
And in this nice little lull, I would like to thank everybody for hanging out with us as we are reaching the 1 hour, 25-minute mark. We did the unboxing of INDOMITUS 1 by the Commodore. It was also a second box was unopened by the Plague Child, which was actually technically my box that I won in my match because we decided that I won because I didn't rage quit or some BS like that. So those two were open. Commodore has been joined by, of course, the ever lovely Flight of the Phoenix, who is currently off camera, and the big sexy beast. And below at the bottom, at the end of the table, is Scott Werner, an old family friend, otherwise known as Wormy. He is a tabletop board game guru.
Oh, Above and Below. You brought Above and Below
It has to
too.
be Brain Above
Yes.
Below.
Above and Below is such a fun game. And it's simple to learn.
Wormy has been doing board gaming for a very long time as well as tabletop role playing. So we had him come and give his opinion of what he thought of the.
Let's do Mars or Above and Below, just because those are the two that I at least know the best.
Pretty
So
sure
that we
this is
can
not what
get other people.
Wormut had in mind, but hey. break it
Well,
up.
these are both, you said, easier stuff that play up to 5.
Wingspan was
These
one
are
of
the easier ones that play up to 5. Wingspan is Jamie Stegmaier at Stonemeyer Games. It's excellent. It's probably his easiest game, in my opinion, to learn.
We'll probably go and watch
Kaido is
it.
a little bit older. I want to say it's maybe 4 or 5 years old at this point, maybe longer. Kaido is a game about taking a walk to Tokyo
Oh,
in the, I want to say about the time of the Meiji Restoration. Somewhere in
Wow.
there.
well, that sounds very interesting.
It's got some really nice art to it. I've got some of the extras for this. I've got a couple of the expansions for it. So it's a lot of fun. These both play up to 5. Wingspan is kind of not a deck builder because you don't actually have a deck, but there are aspects like that. It's about birds. It's about birds. And you have 3 different areas in which you play your bird cards, which are you can only play in specific areas. It'll tell you where you can play the different kind of birds. Like I said, it also plays up to 5. These 3 are all simpler than this.
Yeah, Above and Below is a wonderful game. We played it the last time you were over. We played Above and Below.
But yeah, I'm with you. Terraforming Mars is my favorite game. Still is my favorite game.
How many people Terraform Mars play?
Terraforming Mars will play up to 5. Plays up to 5.
So I think we're going to start a game of Terraforming Mars then.
And like I said, I just backed the big box. I'm not going to have it until March. But so that'll be, I'm guessing, about like this.
Oh wow!
And
So
I
what's
also
going to be in there?
storage trays mostly.
Oh, okay.
The only new stuff that I'm going to have for that are going to be custom ships for the trade fleets.
Oh wow!
So it's got a bunch of custom, like all the ships are different.
Oh wow!
That was a $10 add-on. The big box by itself was $100. But yeah, as you can see, this is what I use. I use muffin tins to help separate stuff and store stuff, and it kind of works. Sort of.
It was really useful on the table.
Yeah, I mean, it's been knocked around my house. I haven't played a board game in 4 months, folks, because COVID's a bitch. We can say bitch here.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Fucking A, you can say it.
All right. So yeah, I haven't played anything with anyone. Take that as you want for quite a while.
Why is there an orange piece?
What is this from?
That is not from that game. I know that.
This is the problem when you have a billion board games. Is looking at, and I don't have a billion. I have like
A lot.
5 bookcases like that filled with board games.
Which is why I call him a board game
then
guru, and he's like,
closet.
I'm not really a guru. No,
Well, I haven't dropped money on anything new in probably a year at this point.
oh no, a whole year.
Like I know people who are way more into board games than I am, but they also have more money than I do.
they have more money.
Or they work as the warehouse manager of a games distribution company, and they can get whatever they want.
Who do we know like that? And how can
My buddy Kevin.
we need to kidnap him.
Well, he doesn't live up here anymore. We used to play down in his place all the time, but he's down in Algonquin now because that's where work is. So yeah, I haven't had a chance to play with Illinois.
Huh.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to play with him forever. Where's this from?
So what are you up to? What are you thinking there? Are you into playing a board game with us?
Yeah, play it.
Let's do Mars.
We do Mars?
Have you ever played Mars before? I have not.
Okay.
You're in for Mars, right?
I am.
This side. Remember, don't look at this side. This side goes all over the place. This side
I
goes.
didn't know if you were coming.
Now,
It's my
if
favorite board game, of
you
course I'm playing.
want to play a board game with us, I would love to have you play a board game with us. If you want to not play a board game because I know you got some things going on, and you want to just hang out on a corner building your models and stuff like that, we can bring cheering to the other corner like that. That's true too. You know, this is awesome family fun time and time to talk with our guests. So Commodore's in front of the mic. What are we seeing in the chat channel? What's going on there, buddy?
Phil's talking. He literally just uploaded his unboxing. He's watching us unbox ours.
All right. Well, you know, while we're doing this, I'm going to quick pull a box back out, and we're just going to quick go over some of the things we've picked up.
It's bugging me that I can't remember what game this goes to.
All right. So once again, hold on, Indomitus. So I gotta say, again, I think of all the models I've seen so far, at least of the Marines. I mean,
there's no plainness to them.
no, I mean, that is, I think, the biggest thing you can say. For all the complaints when the Primaris came out about how plain and generic and
People remember you probably weren't, but like 5th edition, that starter set where it was this, it was Space Marines versus Tyranids. It was a tactical 10-man tactical squad. Nothing extra to it. It literally had no raids, that just no character.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, and this is the thing that's always got me about when people complain about Primaris. I understand the complaint about the lore, but let's be real. They're trying to push new models. They're a company. They're trying to sell new models. They heard the complaints that they're too plain. You cannot say that about these figures. But here's the interesting thing. You look at this, the Assault Squad. They're still the same design. They're not really that different, the Ancestors. So what do they do different? Nothing. They added some characterization. They added some bits on, like you would with veterans. I love the fact that this set looks the way it does. I like the Primaris. I've liked them from the moment they came out, the moment I first saw them. And I will stand by my argument that I've gotten actually into heated arguments with people about Primaris. Yeah, they're pretty plain. So put something on them. I've never understood the argument about Primaris looking so plain. I've never understood it because tactical squads look pretty plain. They've always looked plain. There were kits you would get to add stuff on. There were specific, only this unit. Like you could get the Dark Angels unit that had all the specific heraldry to it. Or there was the there was an Ultramarines command squad you could get. The one that Marnius Calgar originally came in.
His honor guard.
Yeah, his honor guard. And they were all really ultramarine-y. And the wolf, because the wolves have their blood claws, or their what they call their wolf pack boxes. And they've got all the extra bits in there. But those are specific for unit models. If you looked at ones that were generic, they didn't have anything extra on them. Look at the bikes. Look at the original bike models. They were.
You may have gotten an extra, depending on what they give you, like an extra like icon thing or something. Nothing to like write home about.
Right, but that's the same thing you get with the intercessor. I think the most I heard complaint was people complaining about the intercessor. They look so plain.
Well, because I think people weren't used to that because you had years of Blood Angel upgrades, the Dark Angel upgrades, stuff to add to those squads that made them look different.
But they had those. They just had to buy them separately. Mm-hmm. They wanted an army. They want to be able to buy one box and be done with it. As from a business standpoint, that doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. Why not build a generic box and then you spend $12.50 and you get a box of add-ons to make your guys better and different?
$12.50.
That's how much the original upgrade box is.
Oh, the upgrade. I thought you were talking about now. No, it's like $25 for that sprue.
Well, it's 2 sprues though.
Yeah, but they're the same. So it's really...
Well, yeah, but that's the whole thing. It's literally twice the price now. But instead of the original, it's 2 of that sprue instead of 1 of that sprue. Mm-hmm. And you guys get decals in them now. You didn't get decals when we bought the original ones.
I'm not know again.
And I bought a lot of those Wolf sprues. Oh my God, I want to say I bought 5 or 6 of the Wolf upgrade sprues. I decided to screw it. I'm just gonna next time I want upgrade sprues, I'm just gonna buy another Wolf pack. I mean, they got 3 times the number of heads you need in there, and so much other junk. Yeah. Besides, I like the Wolf pack. I don't care. I like tacticals. I know people are like, tacticals are worthless. Tacticals are not worthless. Tacticals are awesome.
Yeah, you're right.
But you were Will for a second.
What? I'm right about what?
Tactical squads.
They're good. They're good at what they do. They do one thing that other Marines don't do. Yeah, my intercessors
bring different weapons.
Exactly. I've got intercessors. They've got bolt guns. The leader might have a melee weapon.
You might have the grenade launcher.
Yeah, you have 1 grenade launcher for your squad.
2.
If you have a 10-man squad. Yeah, no, I'm going to bring my tactical squad. I've got a rocket launcher, which nobody has anymore. One of the most useful weapons, I think, for anti-vehicular. You can't get rocket launchers on anybody anymore.
Well, because he also uses it for anti-infantry, too.
Yeah, because you can switch over to frag mode and just kill groups of people. And
because you hit an infantryman with a rocket launcher, he's dead.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was the thing. Okay, well, what about the Hell Blasters? They're so overpriced. They've got a weapon that cuts through vehicles like they're butter. Yeah, of course they're expensive.
Okay, now let me ask you: are you talking expensive from a real-world money point of view, or from the point-buy system?
Yeah.
Point-buy system.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, they're so fragile. Well, yeah, they're dudes with huge laser cannons on them.
I think they have a word for that. It's called glass cannon.
And that's exactly what they are. They're glass cannons.
Well, that's what it was not, because people were talking about, like, where's the Primaris Devastators? It's like, they're already here. If you think about it, Hell Blasters are technically the plasma version of plasma cannons.
Yeah.
The new aggressors that have come out, or eradicators, are your multi-meltas.
Well, here's the great thing about really great thing about those new ones. Did you notice? They're in Gravis armor.
Yeah.
They're Terminators.
Yeah.
Those new dudes with the big guns, those are Primaris Terminators. We're finally seeing them.
Well, you had those with the aggressors, with the flame cannons, because they were in Gravis armor too.
Well, but that's the thing. People were complaining, well, why come we don't have Terminators for Primaris? I would argue that the aggressors
are, because they have the power fits and all that.
I would argue.
It's just lore-wise, they're not.
No, lore-wise are not, except where they are. And I say that in a very funny way, because if you go to, what is it, Ritual of the Damned? Whichever book had the Dark Angels and the Grey Knights in them, there is an aggressor squad that's admitted to the Dark Angel's first company.
Yep.
That's what they did with the Terminators. They're Terminators. So, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I think in the reality is people bitch because people want to bitch. People are always
Wait. What is this? A nerdy hobby?
Ugh. You're gonna complain? No, we're not gonna complain.
Plastic men.
Nerdy hobby. I was watching a Yacht Rock stream last night, and it was not strictly Yacht Rock, and the DJ made that clear because he wanted to preface it before any of the Yacht Rock nerds got on there and said, "That's not Yacht Rock."
You know, the funny thing is with any real fandom of anything, you're gonna find somebody who wants to be difficult with it. Fanboys. Well, even the whole opinion thing. A perfect example. You get people debating Doctor Who. Oh my God. It's the same character, but I love this Doctor more than that Doctor. I like the 4th Doctor. I like the 6th Doctor. I like the 8th Doctor. I like the 9th.
You know who's problematic right now is there's a lot of conversation going on in. Yeah, that should go somewhere.
Get the child in your bucket.
There's a lot of conversation going on in the D&D community, starting with WotC, about there are all these things in the game that go back to negative connotations about minorities.
Yeah.
Orcs.
Oh my gosh.
South. There's always it's always somebody invading from the south.
There was a huge people are freaking out. I actually ended up quitting the old school D&D gamers group on Facebook because there was this huge rage because WotC is reprinting digitally all the old first edition books, but they're putting a disclaimer in the front of the book, and people are freaking out about it.
And those are the people who are problems right now. And on the other end, you have the people who are maybe taking things a bit too far, as far as going, okay, this is how things used to be. So let's move away from that. That doesn't mean we necessarily erase all of this. Like you said, a disclaimer. This is how things were then, and that's why this is how it is now, and we don't feel that way anymore. But here's the information for you to use.
And they said literally in the disclaimer, they're like, to say that we didn't publish this, to change this, is being disingenuous about the origins of our game.
Mm-hmm.
There was a huge uproar in the Warhammer community a few months back because they went on Twitter and went, Warhammer, when the whole Black Lives Matter thing started, Warhammer went, here's the thing. We believe in an inclusive, open, welcoming gaming community. And for those of you that agree with us, we look forward to you in the future. And if not, you will not be missed. Oh my God, the chuds and the Nazi players, because there's a bunch of, for whatever reason, people look at the Imperium of Man and the real bent ones are like, yeah, that's the perfect government. It's literally a black comedy about how government should not be, and you're saying it's perfect. And you're freaking out because they're saying you can get the F out. Oh my God, it was a huge, there's a couple of YouTube channels that are like, everybody's like, we don't know you anymore because you're freaking out, you Nazi bastards.
Gamehole Con did the same thing on their Facebook page after George Floyd's murder. And all they did was just post Black Lives Matter. That was it. But here come, and I don't want to stereotype a group as something, but the people who were complaining were old school mini war gamers, by and large. And they're like complaining about it. And reminder, Alex Kammer is an attorney and a really good one.
I have to cut in. Regis Philbin is dead.
Is he now?
Regis, the man Regis. Man. Anyhow,
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, though.
But yeah, and they're like, okay, well, this is how we feel, and you don't have to come here if you don't want to feel that way.
And again, this is the great thing, and this is why it's one of the reasons I wanted to have my buddy Scott here, because I look at our group of friends from back in the day. Now, we had wildly different opinions on certain things among our crew. We had some wildly different sides of viewpoints on a lot of really crazy topics.
Yeah, some of the names you brought up as people who live in the pit are not necessarily people I would call liberals.
Right.
You know?
But here's the thing. You think about those people now. Of that group of people, all the people you hung out with, I want to say as a group, because of how diverse we were racially, how diverse we were background-wise, and the fact that we were open to game, we were actively trying to find girl gamers to hang out with us, which is why Leona lasted as long in the group as she did. For as not personal a person she wasn't a bad person, she just really didn't know how to be around people very well.
Yes, that's an accurate description.
She was a good person. No fault of hers. She just didn't really know how
She didn't people very well.
No, she didn't people very well. But I mean,
Kat was around for, same time.
oh yeah, Kat, the other one.
She,
But I mean, but you look at that group of people, you look at that diverse group of people, I bet, except for one or two very specific people nowadays, and I can think of one of them off the top of my head, almost any of them now, we could go bring them over, have a conversation, and we'd still be on the big debate side. I think a lot of us would still be on the same side of a lot of that stuff.
There are people from that group that I wouldn't socialize with anymore, but that's because I know more about them on a personal level.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody that you brought up I'd have an issue with. I mean,
Dom. I love Dom, but I can't have conversations with him anymore. I can't.
I don't even know what he's up to. Last I heard, he was working at Board Game Barrister, and they're closed.
Yeah.
The one down on Layton is shut. Like that's not reopening. They were not able to work out a lease arrangement with their.
Yeah. So. But I mean, yeah, you look at most of them. I mean, even guys like Dan.
Dan has shifted almost radically to more along what we think.
Yeah.
He used to be further.
He used to be way on that side of things. Mauer's always been on the left, and he has gotten amazingly granola crunchy lately. I've actually had a couple conversations with him. He is very much a tree-hugging granola muncher.
Wait. You mean the man who answered the door for the Jehovah's Witnesses naked and dripping?
The stuff of legends that group was. I mean, we had some great stories at the pit.
Who then excused himself, closed the door, grabbed his broadsword, and reopened the door. And at that point, the two JWs had split and gone out the way down the hallway.
I will never forget the time we had Mormon missionaries.
Big man too.
Yeah, Eric. The reason Eric is referred to
6'5".
Yeah, Eric Mauer was known as the Wall. The Wall, because he was basically a table standing up.
He was a Viking.
Yeah, he was a Viking.
You're in here longer than this.
Yeah, I mean, he was a Viking. He was a gigantic dude. But he also, unless you did something to threaten somebody he cared about, unless you did something to somebody he cared about, one of the most gentle guys you ever met. He was just such a lovely, gentle guy. But I mean, you threatened somebody. I will never forget the time somebody got Gurr at Otter. And I mean, he comes walking over. This is at the third floor Union. He gets up. Yeah, somebody started something with Otter. He stood up, picked up one of these chairs. So these are these gigantic freaking chairs that you could probably sit two people on. He picked it up like it was a stick of butter and just started walking towards the person with this chair.
These were like this level construction of furniture. I could have picked one up by myself. I would not have been walking around with it as a weapon.
Yeah, he had it in one hand and was just like, I'm going to go murder somebody with a chair.
But yeah, you're right. Normal circumstances.
Oh, man. He was and so smart. I mean, that was the other thing. That was the other thing about that crew. Even the dummies, the jokeable people we refer to the dummies, except for one guy specifically, they were a really smart crew.
Well, yeah, except for Pat Conley.
Okay, two, because I was thinking of Peach.
Okay. Yeah, no, there was a lot of intelligence
There's
up on that third floor.
the incredible amount of intelligence and
to this day, for the most part, it's an incredible amount of untapped intelligence too. Because
yeah, I mean,
we had a great fucking time up there. But people ask me what I went to college for, and I tell them sheepshead. Because, yeah, things happen and you don't graduate. And
yeah, half a semester.
what's that?
That's how long I was in for.
Yeah.
I managed half a semester. I don't even think it's that long because I dropped all my classes, got my money back before I got charged. I'm like, I can't do this.
I had 2 years before they said, well, you're not going to go to class, so we're not going to charge you for them anymore. Also, you can't be here. And then I went back for another semester about 2 years later, and then magically, when you have sex with somebody without protection, they get pregnant, and you become a father, and magically, I think they have a book on that now.
Isn't this sort of a game box on the stream? Now it's kind of like how babies are made.
Well, no, it's about how nerds proliferate in the world.
When a man and a woman love each other very, very much with their crotch.
If you love too much, you get a burning sensation.
You do, and that's bad. But they have medicines for that now.
Hey, see,
If anybody's still here, please hit that like button.
yeah, we are coming up on the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna turn this over to the Commodore. Let him run the controls here for a moment.
And stream.
So we're going to do a quick shout out to all my lovely patrons as we button up the stream for the day. And we're going to play the same game I play with Lady B every week. So,
Wait, I don't want to play that game.
oh no, you do. Well, you don't.
I'm not married to you. I don't want to.
Oh, you're playing it, buddy. All right. So we're going to first stop thanking our Battle Brothers level, Brothers tier Patreons. Inquisitor Zane, big buddy, good to hear from you. And
Kaiju.
No.
Tiger Pop.
No.
Mixes up north.
Mini
Warmod.
Warmod. All right. Big
Say his name.
Yay. Say his name. Oh, Mini Warmod. Say his name. Now we have our tier 2, our battle leader level Patreons. And you already named most of them, so let's start that over then.
Heinrich Botha.
There you go, my man Heinrich Botha.
Joe Bookish.
Joe Bookish, the book man. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
Kaiju Shorts.
Kaiju Shorts.
I think that's the 3. Because it was 2, 3, 4.
That's right.
And then
lastly, we have our Warlord tier Patreons who are thankful. I'm thankful for the support they give me. I mean, it lets me buy supplies, it lets me buy materials. I will have the glue and paint to build those Indomitus figures. Thanks to these people. Thank you so much. And these people are
the man, the myth, the legend, Alex Drake.
Alex Drake, the man that does have to come first because poor Commodore doesn't want to get beat up. Meeks. Clap them cheeks. Yeah, clap them cheeks. The Smash Captain Meeks.
There is
2 more.
Flight of the Phoenix.
Flight of the Phoenix. I wouldn't be surprised if you forget that one.
And of course, the best, the only, the Commodore.
Coming in from high orbit. And once I get the OBS, I'm going to start tapping this man to start doing some more intros for me.
You got one.
I got one. I feel bad because, like, Frost and Fist get to use you all the time. I'm like, but he was my friend first. All right, folks. I want y'all to know, I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank you for hanging out with us for all our insanity. We talked about Indomitus. All my UK friends that made it, which I don't know how many of them were, but I know a few of you were. Especially, I did notice Jam Jar, buddy. If you're not a follower of Jam Jar's channel, Jam Jar is the most unassuming guy. He's such a great guy. He just kind of sits down at his kitchen table and builds and paints figures and kind of just shows you where he's at in his progress. He's just such a great guy. He's so friendly, and he's just a real honest, just one of those real salt of the earth kind of Joes. I love you, Jam Jar. If you're not a follower, go up to his channel, give him a subscribe, give him a couple of likes, watch his videos, give this man some love. He deserves it. Another guy I want to give a big shout out to because he is, again, such an inspiration, and he really like a real joyous part of the community. He really wants to help people out. If you are not a subscriber to The Pale Orc, he's an Australian 40K guy that does some really great kit bashes. He's currently working on scratch building from cardboard a huge orc stompa. It is beautiful. It's got treads, gorgeous work, amazing talent. He's a great painter. He really does kind of not the standard looking paint schemes. So good stuff to look into.
Buddy.
If you enjoyed this content, please go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe, ring that bell. Go ahead and follow me on Ding Those Dongs, Ring Those Bells. You'll find me and Lady Dragon 28, Plague Child, the Nightly Gamer, and J Drake Photo. You'll find all of us on Instagram with our models. Go ahead and follow us, give us some likes, check out our stuff. And once again, thank you so much for being with us today.
Enjoy your Indomitus boxes.
Enjoy your Indomitus box. Enjoy them figures. Get that plastic crack all up in there.
Smell them books.
Smell them books.
Smell them books. Good books. Good
Now
books.
remember, first and foremost, we do have a motto here on our station. Epic your board,
Epic your game.
and epic your life. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the future.